Yeah, I be DJing across the country. So
Oh, I know you do. I know you do.
okay, but now we are going to have some fun. One thing we talked about before the interview is breaking down the first verse of Jay Z's "What More Can I Say." For my listeners, this is where hip hop meets English class. Rhymecology, walk us through why this verse is a lyrical masterpiece. Wait,
Mm.
but before we do that, I have some clips for you from Jay Z in the studio.
And explain it
Go.
to y'all, man. I just comes out there for me. I start mumbling. They say you put the right artist with the right track in the studio, leave the door crack and let God in. It's never been long, this hood, or this pop, this hot, or this strong, with so many different flows. This one's for this long, the next one I switch up. This one will get fit up.
Okay, yeah. All right, so that's the song, right?
Right
So you guys said you're big Jay Z fans over there.
here.
So why don't we just look at this?
This right here we call a magic.
Right here.
Okay, so look, he starts off here. Never been a brother this good for this long, this hood, this pop, this hot, or this strong. So this is the first couplet, right? So this is a couplet. His first two bars is a couplet. And what we see here is we see three focal points in the rhyme. We've got good and hood, we've got long and strong, and then we've got sandwiched in the middle, which we call a shadow box at my school for emceeing, pop and hot. That's in the middle of the end rhymes. Okay, so that rhyming already is pretty cool. But also, he's saying there's never been someone this hood that can also be this pop, which is really the truest statement because he really kept it real to his Marcy background, but he also went mega pop, like popular, right? So there really hasn't been someone who was ever that hood while also being pop, also being that popular, especially in his prime. So that's just the first two.
Staying
Then
true
he
to himself by expanding.
say it again.
Staying true to himself by expanding.
By expanding. Yeah, he did right. And then he's done a lot of things with his popularity and fame. So many different flows. This one's for this song. Next one I switch up. This one will get bit up. Basically, right here he's saying, I can flow any which way. And he's gonna change it after this song because this one's gonna be bitten. This one's gonna be copied. Right. So then that's setting up this scheme where he's going to talk a lot about people copying his style and his rhymes. Right. So these F's too lazy to make it up. Right. They're crazy. They don't paint pictures. They just trace me. Great visual effect. Right, Lily Jade. So he's not just saying people aren't creating their own art. They're just
Yeah.
tracing his
See,
own lyrics that he
trying to be
already.
like him, trying to copy him.
Yeah. They just trace me. You know what? And now there's a reason why he says this, you know what, so loudly. You know what? Soon they forget where they plucked their whole style from and they try to reverse the outcome. I'm like, so if you look back where he says they don't paint pictures, they just, like, why did he pronounce that just so strongly? He could have just said, they just trace me. But he said, they just trace me. That's because he wanted to emphasize the just to rhyme with, you know what? And then come back to where their style was plucked from. So this is what we call a scheme. He's got a quatrain, which is 4 bars, and he's scheming on people copying him. Now, this is also interesting. He says, I'm not a biter, I'm a writer for myself and others. So what does that mean? He's a ghostwriter, right? So
Mm,
he's written other people's lyrics. We know he famously wrote for Dr. Dre.
Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah, and he got paid to write "Still Dre," which was one of the few things that we leaked, but that he got $75,000 just to write the verse for Dre. So anyway, he's not a biter, he's a writer for others. Now here's an interesting part here. I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother. A lot of people
Smalls.
go ahead.
I said Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, exactly. And so he quotes Biggie's lyrics a lot. And a lot of people are like, why does he keep quoting Biggie? Like, like you're your own writer. Why do you keep quoting him so often? And so here he's kind of calling out those people, saying, if I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother, bigging up my borough because I'm big enough to do it. Now, why this is important is it goes back to the last quatrain where he's saying other people are copying me, and he's like, but I can say a Biggie verse because I'm big enough to do it, right? Wordplay on the big, of course, but at the same time, he's like, I'm allowed to do it because I've already written so much, and I'm so great. I'm allowed to do it, but you can't copy me. Is basically what he's trying to say. So it's kind of a cool.
Do as I say, not what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So look, and so he got big, and so he's what we call at my school glitching on the bigging up my brother, and I'm big enough to do it. So he's kind of got like 3 different meanings for the big there.
Oh.
And then bigging up my borough, and then why did he say borough? Because he wanted to rhyme with thorough at the beginning of the next line, even though it's not at the end. He's doing it kind of in the middle, borough and thorough. So plus, and so the rings and things you talk about, bring them out, start when the barrel's in your mouth. Now this is cool. I'm in new sneakers, dual seaters, few divas. Here he's rhyming what we call a perfect compound rhyme 3 times in the one line. New sneakers, dual seaters, few divas, right?
Oh wow.
And so he's smashing in 3 rather than spreading it out over 2. So pretty, he's just like, okay, let me show you my compound rhyming here. Now, we can end on this, but you can already see how amazing this is. And then what more can I tell you? So this whole thing is just kind of like, this was his Black album, which was supposed to be his last album, right, at the time. And so he goes, what more can I tell you? He's like, I've already said it all. It's kind of the theme of this song. But here's a really interesting part. Check this out, LJ. Let me spell it out for you. WILLIE. Okay, what is that? Willie. So Willie, that's kind of a term, right, for Big Willie, meaning, the big dog, the big boss. I'm the big guy, right? Willie. But then what is the last 3 is LIE in that. And then notice he says, nobody truer. So truer is the opposite of a lie, which is the LIE, right? So everyone's going to think of LIE and HOV as the rhyme, but really the part that he's kind of like showing you here is the truer, and is the antithesis of the LIE part. Really, just kind of real slick there. And then back for more, ambassador, back for more. I'm back for more. That's 4 syllables. Ambassador, 4 syllables. Nice rhyme there. Prime Minister, back to finish that rhyme. So, just in that 16 bars, you really see, you really get to see a lot of different things that he can do, from rhyming to wordplay to images painted to also being, just braggadocious, saying I'm the man, etc. So that's a pretty good example of great lyricism from your guy, Sean Carter, Hova, Jay-Z.
Is he the greatest?
Is he the greatest?